Yo, what's poppin', Bagel Bros, and welcome back to another Patreon rant. If you want one of these for yourself, be sure to give me $10 on Patreon. This one comes from Neon Manta, who says, "Rant about City the animation. It's the closest I can get to making you talk about anime again." This motherfucker Neon Manta, he's my close friend. I visited him in Florida a while ago. But this motherfucker, I actually hate him, because his entire life's mission right now is to get me to talk about anime again. And I keep telling him, hey, that would literally kill my channel. That would, there's a 0% chance it would go well. I would have to talk about seasonal slop in order to get any views, and that would not be fun. But no matter what, he's like, no, you don't understand. You gotta talk about anime, Crunchy. It's the only thing left. Crunchy, you've gotta talk about anime! But we ended up watching City while in Florida together. Most of it, I believe we got somewhere around the first 10 episodes down. And unfortunately, it's not really that rantable of a show. So if you don't know, it's the successor to Nichijou from author Keiichi Arawi. And it's animated by Kyoto Animations. It's got 13 episodes, and it's really good. I really like it. I super recommend it. But I can't really go too deep into the jokes themselves because it's been nearly a month since I've seen any episodes of it. Probably over a month, actually, come to think of it. Over a month at this point. And so I would have to really go back and analyze punchlines, analyze timings, refresh myself on everything to do with the show. But in terms of broad strokes, I can say that while it's not quite as funny as Nichijou, it is still pretty consistently funny, and even when it's not funny, it is charming. So Nichijou's whole thing with its comedy was that it was extremely bombastic, extremely surreal, extremely absurd, extremely over the top, and I do think I resonate a bit more with that sense of humor. Whereas City's goal is more so to be laid back. It still has all the surrealness and all the bizarreness. One of the most memorable punchlines from the show is when this extremely shy girl, the entire joke is that everyone's in love with her. Everyone who sees her for even a split second immediately falls in love with her, either romantically or thinks she's moe and just wants to protect her. And everyone in class will bend over backwards to make sure that she has the greatest time ever. And at one point, because she's extremely shy, extremely clumsy, extremely ditzy, there was this bit where she keeps tripping, and every time she trips, her life flashes before her eyes, and then she's eating this seafood, this little squid, and it falls out of her chopsticks, and the squid's life flashes before its eyes. Mind you, it's dead, it's about to be eaten, but the entire life of this squid, from meeting his lover to being to becoming food cooked and prepared, everything up to this moment flashes before its eyes. It's incredible. One of the funniest parts of the entire show. And yeah, it's a lot of adorable stuff like that. So there's these two characters. I have all the characters up on screen on AniList. But there's these two girls, Matsuri and Eri. And their entire shtick is that they have a sort of, I'm looking for a specific word, but it's this specific, it's very clearly traditional sort of Japanese style of humor. And admittedly, it's the less funny part of the show to me. I am more into the more big, bombastic, and concentrated punchlines with lots of build-up, whereas their rapport is sort of to just constantly, their entire shtick is they keep making up clubs for things, and they're these middle schoolers with a hugely active imagination, constantly imagining various scenarios and getting wrapped up in their head. And at some point, Eddie, she says that she's about to move, and it's this really emotional moment. But even though it's not laugh out loud hilarious, it's still charming. They still it's fun to see these characters with lots of energy talking to each other back and forth. And it's great, and I love it. And then there's the other three main characters, Midori, Nikura, and Wako. Wako's entire thing is that she's super autistic, and this isn't even a joke. Her entire opening sequence is her continually self-soothing for various things, getting stuck in these spirals of self-soothing. And then from there, she's sort of the chaotic neutral to Midori, which, by the way, I love Midori. Midori and Nikita's dynamic, because Midori, she's like this rough cheapskate who doesn't want to spend any money. She's hilarious. I really resonate with her entire personality, whereas Nikita has a very Mio-esque dynamic with her. It's very similar to how Mio regards Yuko in Nichijou, where she's sort of more straight-laced but quick to anger and a bit more girly, whereas Midori is a bit more tomboyish, and it's a very pleasant dynamic. I'd say that my favorite episode of the show, it's the one that went the most out there, and I know that it has a specific episode director that I'm blanking on the name of, but there's this specific episode director who just went crazy with it, where the entire point is that Midori and I believe Wako was there too. A bunch of different people are going there, and they're in this tower that's in a completely different art style from the rest of the show. It's very handcrafted, of this rich girl who her entire shtick is she keeps giving people awards and keeps like kidnapping them in order to pamper them. And in order to escape this tower, they have to go through all sorts of different trials. So Midori is trying to get pampered. Like, she's getting strung along by this guy who's like very noble, very, very nice, doesn't want this award, doesn't want to be pampered, doesn't want to inconvenience people. And so it's like this push and pull, but all the trials are like completely self-sabotaging, like comically so. They just completely self-combust, and then like while this is going on, like it keeps cutting back to various other things happening, and it keeps splitting the screen. So at first it's just a split screen where one chapter, what was clearly a separate chapter of the manga, is going on in one side of the screen, and then on the other side of the screen they're going through the tower, and then it continually like keeps on splitting between different characters in the show, all simultaneously, until the screen is like this unholy cacophony, like impossible to parse at all. It is just visual noise, and different split screens keep popping in and out at random. And like there's one that I'm pretty sure it's just like a cat or something, or like this cat rabbit. I don't even know. There's so much shit going on. Nikita is like trying to find this pendant with a picture in it because she's too embarrassed to have Midori see it, because it's a picture of Midori back when she was younger that she kept with her. It's very funny, very everything going on all at once. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious that they had this idea and went this hard to see it, where even though, like, it is impossible to parse anything, to be clear. Like, at some points, it just becomes noise. But that's hilarious. That's why it's fun. And I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about in regards to this show is its theming, because Nichijou was very much about setting up this community. And the anime, I think, does a better job with this in terms of how they tackle Nano's character, where Nano, in the manga, she's with the characters going to school from the beginning, but in the anime, they build up to it for half the season, and eventually she goes to school. It's like this super emotional moment, and from there, what was previously two completely separate halves of the show, where it was Hakase and Nano and Sakamoto, the cat. It was them three, and then Yuko and Mio and Mai, and all the different, groups at school. It was this sort of joining together, where now what was previously this split community has become interconnected. And it's this really, sort of beautiful moment. And here, it's even stronger. Like, from the very beginning, the entire point is that this is a community with a bunch of different people, and literally anyone could become a relevant character at any point. Where, we have all the mainstays, but then there are also, like, random shy girl. And there's, at one point, this family where they keep trying to, like, they have this extremely chaotic morning. They were actually introduced in the split screen episode in one of the completely random split screens. And then I believe the next episode was, like, it starts off with their morning routine. And the point is, City is thematically about the city. It's about making you believe in the kayfabe of the city as a real interconnected community. You know, it's not like the real city where there's homelessness and crime and nobody wants to talk to each other and it's just a bunch of noise because humans are awful and I hate everyone. In City, the animation, it is this real living, breathing human place where people are generally pleasant to each other. And I think that's really, you know, it's really kind-hearted and beautiful and a great show, and I'll finish it someday, I promise. That's about it. See ya.